What is going on, Crimson Tide fans? Chris Daughtry here with the Alabama Football Report by Chat Sports. Coming up on today's show, we're going to be talking a little bit of an update around the college football playoffs and what format these conference commissioners are possibly going to go with. Brett McMurphy had a report that came out today just kind of updating us on where those things stand right now. Also want to get into some recruiting rumors around Alabama football as well. Before we get into that, though, I want to ask you guys to hit that like button for me. Alabama's hosting a ton of top-notch recruits this weekend, and the only way that they get those commitments, if you guys like today's video, we are trying to beat our June of 2024 number. So help us out. We're trying to get better every single year, just like the Crimson Tide are. So make sure you hit that like button for me right now. All right, first up on today's show, Brett McMurphy reported that the college football commissioners have decided now to start over their discussions whether or not what format they're going to be using now to go forward in the college football playoffs. This was actually Brett McMurphy's tweet, but I thought it looked better in quote format here. He said, conference commissioners have decided to, quote, start over on determining the 2026 college football playoff format, sources said. Big Ten and the SEC initially wanted 4 automatic qualifiers each, with 2 each to the ACC and the Big 12. However, the ACC and the Big 12 pushed back. SEC coaches later publicly did not support the 4 automatic qualifier models, instead preferring the 5 automatic qualifiers plus 11 at-large format for a 16-team playoff, as did the ACC and the Big 12. The SEC wants more value given to strength of schedule metrics, something that the college football playoff executives discussed in today's meeting. However, a source cautioned even if strength of schedule is supposed to carry more weight with the committee, it still boils down to their opinions on who they think are the best teams. Deadline for the finalizing the 2026 college football playoff format is December 1st. Now, to me, this kind of sounds like our good friend Admiral Akbar from Star Wars. It's a trap, because originally the SEC coaches came out and they were like, "Oh, why wouldn't we support the 4-4-2-1-3, whatever you want to call it, model?" And then they were like, "Nah, I don't think we want to do that." And they're just kind of twisting their words around now. And I really do think they're kind of trying to talk the ACC and the Big 12 into this other format now, with the 5 automatic qualifiers and then the 11 at-large bids, because it seems like now that would actually be more beneficial for both the SEC and the Big 10. It sounds to me like they're trying to trick the ACC and the Big 12 here. This is one of the original models here that was kind of being tossed around for the college football playoffs. You have the 4 automatic bids for both the SEC and the Big 10. Then the ACC and the Big 12 would both get 2 automatic bids. You get the highest ranked Group of 6 champion, which, in my opinion, I think they should be out of this conversation entirely. I think they can have their own playoff and it can be a very fun time, but I don't think there's a lot of people, to be honest, that are actually on my side there. And then you also have the 3 highest ranked at-large bids there. And then now you have this 5 automatic qualifier plus 11 at-large bids now. And really it seems like this is, going towards, this is probably going to actually be what we end up getting here for the college football playoffs. You have your 5 highest ranked champions, the ACC, the Big 12, the SEC, the Big 10, and then the Group of 5. And then you also have the 11 highest ranked at-large bids as well. And this would actually be probably better for both the SEC and the Big 10, because you're going to have your 5 automatic bids, and then also, even if you're adding in a 9th SEC game, your strength of schedule is going to be a whole lot harder as well. There's a real chance that in the top 16, there could be 6 SEC teams, in the top 16 there. So that's even more than your 4 automatic qualifiers that they were originally discussing before that. In my opinion, I don't think they're really taking into consideration the big elephant in the room, in my opinion here, is the College Football Playoff Committee. It's a good thing that they're trying to really push strength of schedule out there, but I still think there are too many biases in this room of the College Football Playoff Committee. You have active conference commissioners on the College Football Playoff Committee, and you're trying to tell me that they, put their biases aside, they sit it at the door, they take their conference commissioner hat off and put it on the rack before they walk in the room. I don't think that's the truth at all. I don't buy that at all. And I'll be honest, I think we should go back to the BCS system. Not necessarily 2 teams. You can still have your 16 teams if that's what you want. But the BCS system, the only thing that was wrong with the BCS system was the lack of teams that actually got into, then it was just the national championship game. There was no playoff. But if you take that BCS system and just put it straight forward to, take the top 16 teams from there, I think that's probably the best model because it puts that strength of schedule in there. It takes all these different factors in and takes that bias out of actual people that are actually doing that because that's what they wanted originally, right? They wanted the eye test, which really the eye test isn't an eye test. It's a bias test at the end of the day. And also I want to say this too. When is enough enough? We had the BCS, that was 2 teams. And then, okay, I understand you want to go to 4 teams, open it up a little bit, but then 4 wasn't enough. So instead of going to 8, you go to 12, and then 12's not good enough. So now we're going to 16. 16 is not going to be good enough. Everybody, just that next man out, is going to be mad every single time. And, honestly, I think what college football is going to get to the point of, I think we are eventually going to see a world where college football kind of breaks away from the NCAA. I think they're going to start their own thing. And I don't know how that's going to happen. That's going to be a very, very messy situation as well. But you have the SEC and the Big Ten. Those are the most powerful conferences that we have right now in college football. I think both of those conferences say, hey, we're going to go off and do your own thing. If you want to join us, that would be great. More teams, the better. But, we're going to be kind of, the NFL style of college football where we have, 2 conferences. We're going to figure it out. We're going to have a playoff. And it's going to be the best teams in college football that are going to be in our league. And if you don't want to do that, well, that's fine. You can go be your own UFL, style of college football. It's going to be lower leagues. It's going to be worse teams. But, that is what it is at the end of the day. I think college football could be in a whole lot better spot. And I also think the structure could be a whole lot better as well because you have, 132 teams right now in college football or something like that. It's too many teams to be able to make all of that work, I think. So some teams are going to end up being left out. I think most of those groups of 5 teams should be left out as well, or group of 6, whatever they're called now. But, that's kind of where I think that's my prediction, kind of maybe it's 10 years, maybe it's 15 years down the road, but I kind of see college football going in that direction. So as we sit right now, what model of the college football playoffs would you rather see? The 4 automatic bids for the SEC, 4 for the Big Ten, 2 for the ACC, 2 for the Big 12, 1 for the group of 6, 3, whatever. It's so much crap. If you want that model, type 1. But if you would rather have the 5 automatic qualifiers plus the 11 at large, go ahead and type 2 in the comment section. Let me know which college football playoff model would you guys rather see. All right, let's get into some recruiting stuff here as well. Cincere Johnson has actually he ended up committing today, and unfortunately it was not Alabama. He ends up staying home, going to Ohio State. But at the end of the day, look, he's a very, very good player, but Alabama's still going after some pretty solid recruits as well. They're going after Braden Rouse. They're going after Nick Abrams. The new kid, Zay Hall, Anthony Davis, Karen Maycock, who actually took his official visit last weekend as well. So very unfortunate. Alabama does miss out on the Ohio linebacker. They recently made him an edge in the 247 Sports Composite rankings, but believe Alabama was actually targeting him at that linebacker spot. But it is okay. Alabama is still going after some top-notch players in this 2026 recruiting class at linebacker. Before we continue here in just a second, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Fanatics. You guys can get $35 off this Alabama Columbia shirt today. just by going to chatsports.com/Bama Gear. It's a Columbia shirt. It's got the Alabama logo, Performance Fishing on the back there. You guys can get that just by going to chatsports.com/Bama Gear. I'll put that link down in the comment section and the description of today's video. Next up here is a little bit of an update on Khamari Brooks. He has actually listed his top 2 now. It's Alabama and Georgia. That's kind of something that has been going on for a while, right? It's really been Alabama and Georgia seemingly for a long time now. He is the number 14 edge in this class, the number 13 player out of the state of Georgia as well. He plans to commit actually on Monday, June 23rd. And when you just look at the visits that he's taken, both official and unofficial, you can see right there kind of the way it is trending right now for Khamari Brooks. A lot of visits to Georgia there, a couple visits to Alabama. That is a positive thing, but at the end of the day, seems like Georgia is really going to get the nod here for the edge rusher. This is what Andrew Bone of BamaOnline actually said this morning, I believe it was, on Khamari Brooks. He said Alabama and Georgia are the final 2 and have been battling the last several months for the standout athlete. Christian Robinson, Alabama's outside linebacker coach, made Brooks a priority target, but so did the hometown school. He lives 10 miles down the road from Georgia's campus. Alabama will likely still try to push for Brooks to make it to Tuscaloosa for at least one game this fall. If he announces somewhere else next week, our pick is going to be Georgia. So let me know what you guys think here in the comment section of today's show. Where do you guys think Khamari Brooks will end up committing to when it's all said and done? Not necessarily just on Monday. Where do you think he ends up committing to eventually down the road? Where does he sign? I guess probably should have been the better way in there. Let me know what you guys think. Type A for Alabama or G for Georgia. All right, last up on today's video, Tom Loy of 247 Sports actually gave a little bit of an update here on Alabama's quarterback targets in 2025. And, kind of where things sit right now with Matt Ponatoski. He actually reported that Kentucky could be the leader for 2026 quarterback Matt Ponatoski. He actually ended up taking a solo visit to Kentucky on Monday before he went out to California for that Elite 11 finals. Ponatoski, one of only a couple Alabama quarterback offers in this class right now, and he does, of note still, have an official visit set up with Oregon after those Elite 11 finals are all said and done. Coming up this weekend, I believe that's on the 20th is when Ponatoski's set to go to Oregon because you have the dead period. It starts up next week. So, it's definitely going to be on the 20th there. This is what Tom Loy, the full report from Tom Loy on Matt Ponatoski and just Alabama's quarterback situation here in general. He said, coming out of the visit, it's clear that Kentucky made a great impression. The Wildcats look to be in a very good spot with the Elite 11 finalist, who is currently in California taking part in the prestigious event. One source called Kentucky the outright leader at this point in the process. Offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Bush Hamden is doing an excellent job with him. Now, his recruitment isn't completely done. Alabama hasn't ruled out a 2-quarterback class now that top 247 Sports quarterback Jett Thomalla has flipped from Iowa State. So that is one thing that is notable that we really haven't heard yet is Alabama seems to be still open to the possibility of getting a second quarterback in this 2026 class after they got that commitment there from Jett Thomalla. So let me know, will Alabama land another quarterback in this 2026 class? Not too long ago, we were questioning if Alabama was going to land a quarterback at all. Now we're wondering if they're going to land a second one. So let me know what you guys think. Type Y for yes or N for no down in the comments section of today's show.